So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the virtual session for this inorganic chemistry course. So, dear students, we have just started the new unit, that is Unit 2, and we are just discussing the metallurgical aspect. Okay, so we have just in the introductory part that how you can have the metals and metal used to occur in different states, and the one of the important source of metals and its compound is our earth crust and sea. Okay, you can get a wide range of materials, metals, elements, either in a native form or in the combined form. Okay, so when you look into the important metals, it may be anything else, okay, any metal. So we prefer to have the situation where you have the different possibilities that metal can exist in a different form. There are two sources. You can have the earth crust, okay, from which we can extract the metal. You can obtain certain elements and its compound from the sea also. Okay, so we are just exploring these components of the earth for the purpose of getting elements. Okay, elements may be metal or it may be non-metal. Okay, now we are talking about the metals. So, in the nature, or you can see in the earth crust, or in the usual way, the metals used to exist in two forms. Either the metal will be exist as free metals, okay. So these are mostly the noble metals, okay, or the metal can have the situation that they may exist in the combined form. Okay, this is the another aspect that you can have. It may be oxide, it may be sulfide, it may be carbonate. So there are different combined forms you can have where the metal can exist. Okay, so from this combined form and from the native form you have to extract the metal for your use. Okay, so that process involves the technology, the engineering, that known to be a metallurgical process. Okay, so you have to have certain process that should be applied as per the need of the combined form or the form of the metal which exists, which you want to extract. Okay, so that is very important. So the basis of the metal by which they used to exist on this earth, it depends upon their potential. Okay, reduction potential. There is a standard reduction potential. Okay, so the elements which lie on the upper side, they are reactive, whereas the elements which used to lie in the lower of this table, where we have listed the reduction potential, are considered to be novel in nature. Okay, so this potential, standard potential values provide us information whether your metal supposed to be fine or supposed to be in the surroundings, may exist as a free metal, or it usually exists in the combined form. Okay, so it is depends upon the reactivity, and reactivity can be explained on the basis of its oxidation and reductive aspect. Okay, so every metal or every element has different potential, reduction potential, standard reduction potential. So its reactivity can be altered, and because of this, some of the metals and elements has tendency that they can exist in the free state form. Okay, or other can exist in the combined form, whether it is the oxide or sulfides. Okay, so this is the idea which I will again explain in next lecture, but I am just giving you the review that this is happening because of the reactivity aspect. So cell potential, standard cell potential is very important. And you can measure such cell potential when you have the couple, you have at least two electrode system. Okay, so one the in which you are interested has to be placed at one side, other used to measure the cell potential of the second one. Okay, so reactivity can be explained. So we have the table where there is a listing of the metals as per their standard reduction potential, and the information which we can deduce from those tables, from that table, that some of the metals are placed upper in the table tally sheet, or some of the metals are placed at the bottom as per their values of the standard potential, which will indicate that some are highly reactive and some are not reactive, so they can exist in their native state just like free state. Okay, whereas the other are reactive and they used to occur in the combined state. Okay, so that leads to the conclusion that when certain things are present in the combined state, or certain things are present in the native state, so that requires some input of energy, and that energy requires some skill how you can extract those metals. Okay, so all those things will be covered by the metallurgical processes. Okay, so metallurgy process is basically material science which includes the input of the engineering and the chemistry, so as to get these useful material for our use. Okay, so we have to have certain methodology, and that will be in accordance with the metallurgical processes. What can be the most plausible way by which we can extract certain metals for our use. Okay, so the existence depends upon the standard potential values. Okay, so I'm just putting one question. What will be the basis of, just wait, I'm just putting the question. So you have to have certain logic behind why there is a possibility that you should have certain. This is your full question. First option is standard cell potential. Second is electromotive force. Okay. So what will be the basis of existence of the metal either in the free oxidation state or combined state? Okay. So it is a reactivity which will be indicated by the cell potential. Okay. Standard cell potential. So there is a sequence which clearly indicates that if you have the metal which lie upper in the tally, then the reactivity is different. When it lie at the bottom of the cell potential table, then the situation will be different. Okay, so the first option is the correct option. Okay, first option is the correct option. So when you look into the existence, naturally, if you have the metal, okay, the metal has to be in any form, whether metal exists as a free metal state or it can exist in combined state. Okay, so this combined state, we have to have the operation by which we can obtain this metal in the pure state. Okay, so this require the operation that will be covered by metallurgical processes. Okay, so metal try to combine with some of the reactive groups only when it has its own reactivity. It can exist in number of the combined states. Okay, it may be the sulfide, it may be oxides, it may be in the carbonate form. Okay, it may be in sulfate form. So these forms will be only exist when they are seems to be stable. Okay, and this react with these moieties only when this metal seems to be reactive. Okay, reactive means unstable in that form. Okay, so the noble metal has lesser tendency, although you will find the ores of noble metals also, but you will not find the reactiveness of those metals. Okay, so they may exist in the combined form. Okay, but noble metal are preferably is not that much reactive. They seems to be stable. Okay, so you may find these metal in a free state also. Okay, so this is the situation which you can have when we look into the different metallurgical aspect. So extraction of metal is very important, and the basic sources you can have for the extraction, you can have the earth crust as one of the important component from where you can acquire number of metal and its compound. Similarly, sea is the another source. These are the reservoir of various minerals. You have to have a dependence on these substances, these components for the extraction purposes. Okay, so when you look into the metallurgical aspect, what we are doing in the last lecture also, so I'm just putting certain. So we were discussing the unit second, where we have started what is the metallurgy. Okay, so we have explained that why the metallurgy is important, because we want metals, and metals sometimes exist in the free state and sometimes they exist in the combined state. So we require metals, so naturally extraction is required for this purpose, and these combined state has to be dismantled so that we can obtain these metals in the pure state. Okay, for our utility. So this is your syllabus of the unit which we have been doing now. Second component is the principle of metallurgy, which includes wide range of methodologies which used to be applied when we want to extract the metals. So we have seen that the metallurgy is nothing but a domain where you can have the combination of material science and engineering so as to obtain wide range of materials, especially the metals, okay, through number of operations. In the pure form, we are able to extract these metals. So it includes number of the operations, just like your concentration of the ores. Okay, ore is a beneficially mineral from which we can obtain the metals. Okay, so you can have the situation which can be explored here. So just wait. So you can have the operation. This is the first, the concentrating the ores. The second is isolation of metal from the ores, how you can isolate. Third, the purification, how you can purify the metals, because Once you have started the process of getting the metals, so ultimately you may get the crude metal that has to be purified. Okay, purification is required, and that is very very important, because ultimately we have to have the situation where we can obtain the pure metal, and that can be applied for certain applications. Okay, because purity will definitely put brake on the application of metal if it is not pure. So the purity is the another aspect. So we have seen that minerals and ores and flux is basic terminology used in metallurgy. Okay, so this is important because it should have certain element of our interest. If the metal of interest is much higher, then we used to call it as a ore. Okay, we used to apply certain specific chemical reagent for purification, that known to be a flux. Then you are going to obtain certain waste material when flux react with some gangue particle. Okay, then you have the slug formation. Gangue particles are the impurities, and this whole process is known as a mineral processing. Separation of mineral from gangue particle is known as a mineral processing. So if you look into the flux and slug, okay, slug is a chemical substance that is formed when the combination of infusible material present in one in ore and a flux which is lighter than the molten metal. So it is a combination. When these two combine, you have the slug formation, and it is a neutral compound. There is a example of flux which leads to form the slug. Okay, the flux, you have the flux like this calcium oxide. Okay, so here the calcium oxide react with impurity just like silicon oxide to form calcium silicate. Okay, so this is your gangue particles or impurities. This is your the flux. Okay, so basically it is a chemical substance that is added along with the carbon during smelting to remove the infusible impurities. Means the impurities which cannot be break down at that particular temperature, so these are infusible. You cannot fuse that material, so it can be removed by reacting with certain suitable reagent. Okay, so these properties or these substances may be acidic and basic in character. Okay, but here because of the reaction between acid and basic substance, these are the neutral species. So dear students, just raise your hands whether sound is audible to all of you. My sound is audible to everyone. Just raise your hands. Okay. So we used to call sometimes the extraction technique, because this is a process of removing undesirable material from the ores, leaving behind the required metal. Okay, so you have seen in the previous classes that there are certain separation technique varying from gravimetric separation, magnetic separation, hydraulic separation, leaching, froth flotation. So these processes will be everywhere when you start the metallurgical process after getting the ore. So these will be followed as such depending upon the ore you have. Okay, so we have the metals which used to exist in wide range of forms, combined state. Okay, and these are the respective names of the ores. Okay, which we used to explore for extracting the respective elements. It vary from aluminium, iron, copper, zinc. Okay, so we have wide range of the possible ores which can be used for the extraction purpose, and these are the most plausible forms. They vary from oxide, sulfide, carbonate. Okay, so you can have this situation, which is very important when we look into the application domain. Okay, so you can have the metal and its extraction technique. It vary from element to element. You may have the electrolysis. Okay, There may be some extraction and reaction with carbon and carbon monoxides. There are wide range of the species and which can be explored at various instance in the metallurgical process depending upon the type of the metal we have for the extraction. Okay, so depending upon the metallurgical aspect, we can have the different actual processes for the extraction of metal from its ore. Depends upon the nature of the ore and the metal. Okay, so what type of the metal you want to extract and what type of ore you have. So you can have the metallurgical process accordingly. Okay, so there is no universal method for extracting the all types of the matter. Okay, or metals, so you have to have the method which vary from metal to metal. Okay, so you have to rely on that aspect that you can have you cannot have the universal operation method which is applicable to every kind of the ores, but the operation or the process adopted will depend upon the ore type and the metal which you want to extract. Okay, so that is a very important aspect. So we can have the situation, we can have three types of the metallurgy. Okay, first is a pyrometallurgy. It is a method of extraction of the metals from the ore by chemical reduction at elevated temperature. The pyro reflect that there will be increase in the operational temperature. So here the chemical treatment is accomplished by rise in the temperature of the system. Okay, so you have to have the situation where you can explore this type of the metallurgical process. So this is the first type. Then electrometallurgy. This is another type of the methodology for the extraction of metals. Okay, from the ores by electrolytic reduction in the molten state or aqueous solution. So either you can extract the metal by applying the electrolytic reduction. So there will be electrolytic cell where the reduction will going to occur in the molten state or in the aqueous solution. Okay, so you that principle will be explored for the purpose of extraction of metal. Okay, the another aspect is the hydrometallurgy. Okay, it is a method of metal extraction from the ore by dissolving the ore with the suitable reagent and subsequently precipitation of the metal by another active metal. Okay, so here first you will dissolve the ore into the solution with the suitable reagent and subsequently the precipitation of the metal by other active metal will going to explore here for the purpose of this methodology. Okay, so this is a hydro metallurgical process which is important and one has to apply this method so as to extract the metal. One can think of this process, it depends upon the metal which you want to extract and the ore which you have. Okay, so these metallurgical processes which we have classified into three categories. So we have the choices that you can look into the metal in which you want to extract and the ore. Okay, so means ore knowledge should you have what type of ore you have, whether it is oxide, sulfide, carbonate. Okay, and what type of metal. So these two component is very important when you look into the options of the metallurgical processes. Either it should be through by pyrometallurgy or electrometallurgical aspect can be involved or hydrometallurgical aspect can be involved. Okay, so it depends on the situation of the metal to be extracted and the ore from which you want to extract that particular metal. Okay, so when we look into the pyrometallurgy, so as I have convey to you that this is metallurgy. Sometimes we used to classify a part of a extractive metallurgy because we are extracting the metal. So it consists of thermal treatment, means higher temperature is required, thermal treatment of the minerals and metallurgical ore and concentrates to bring about the physical and chemical transformation in the material to unable recovery of valuable materials. Means if you have a ore here, okay, you will provide the sufficient amount of heat, okay, which is going to proceed in the reaction and going to bring certain physical and chemical change which will enables us to recover the valuable metal. Okay, so this is the pyrometallurgical process. So for what type of the metals you can have or materials this process can be applied. Okay, so we can think of certain metals which are not much reactive. Okay, just like iron, copper, zinc, chromium, tin, manganese. Okay, so these are reactive, but these are not that much reactive. Okay, just like your alkali metals, sodium, potassium, those are very reactive metals. So we are just applying these this type of methodology for the less reactive metals, okay, or the materials. So you can have the different processes which can be involved in the pyrometallurgical applications. You can have the calcification, roasting, smelting, refining. Okay, so you can have these types of the steps involved depending on the type of the ore which you want to explore for the extraction purpose. Okay, so when we look into the calcination aspect, calcination is nothing but heating to a high temperature in the presence of air or oxygen. Means whatever ore you will have, you are going to heat up the ore at elevated temperature, okay, either in the presence of air or absence of air. Okay, the purpose of calcination of the ore is to convert carbonate and hydroxyl ore into oxides. So these are the carbonate ores or hydroxyl oxides. Okay, so basic purpose of heating them either in the absence or presence of oxygen is to form oxides. So here we are obtaining the oxide, metal oxides. So whatever the carbonate ore is present here, that has to be converted into oxide with the elimination of either carbon dioxide or water. So now we are getting the oxides. Okay, so this is your calcination process. So purpose is simple, as I explained, that you want to remove the volatile compounds, you want to remove the moisture, you want to make the mass porous. Okay, because gas will be evolved creating certain pores, so the mass will become porous and ultimately you are going to obtain the metal in the form of oxides. Okay, so you are obtaining such species not in other form but in the oxide form. So another aspect which come under this methodology is the roasting, the process of strong heating of ore in the presence of excess amount of air below its melting point. Okay, so you can have the another process which can be explored for the same purpose. Okay, but here you will require excess amount of air and the heating is taking place in a way that it should not exceed the melting point. It should be below the melting point of that particular metal. Okay, so the purpose is to convert, we used to apply this methods to those where we have the sulfide ores, and sulfide ore is going to be converted into oxide or sulfate. This will try to remove the impurity just like sulfur, arsenic, and antimony. And definitely, it is going to remove the moisture and going to oxidize easily oxidizable species. Even though there are certain oxidizable species which may be present in these oxides, because of the reaction of the excess air at elevated temperature, you can have the oxidation of such species, which will further help in the extraction process. So basically it is used for the sulfide ores, and you can convert the sulfide ore into oxide. So this is your sulfide, zinc sulfide, iron sulfide. In the excess amount of oxygen, you are going to have these oxides, zinc oxide and iron oxide. So these gases are evolved from the system. So when you look into the difference of these two processes, one is calcination, another is roasting. So heating, basically calcination is mostly taking place in the absence of air, but in some cases it has been reported that there may be some limited amount of air also, but basic definition we stick to this one. Okay, that this process is taking place in the absence of oxygen, whereas the roasting is the process of heating during the extraction step where we require excess amount of air. Okay, so this is applied to the carbonate ores, this is applied to the sulfate ores. The calcination produces carbon dioxide along with the metal oxide. Here there is a production of the sulfur dioxide and metal oxide. Okay, as I have explained in the previous slides, that how you can have the processing which can be further leads to obtain the metal oxides when either you have the sulfide ores or the carbonate ores. So these two are exhibiting the differences as well as the similarity. Okay, both is a pyrometallurgical aspect, that both require heating. Okay, and the heating should not exceed certain temperature. It should be below the melting point of that particular system. Okay, ore or metal, and both the exercise is done to remove the impurities from the ore. Okay, so you have to have the methods by which you can remove these impurities which is supposed to be a part of these ores. So it can be possibly removed by heating this substance at elevated temperature, and this can be explored for the purpose so as to remove these impurities from the ore. Okay, so this is the similarity aspect we can have when we look into these similar type of the methodology. So smelting is a form of the extractive methodology. Its main use is to produce base metal from its ore. Okay, smelting make use of heating and chemical reducing agent to decompose ore, driving off other materials or elements as gases or slag or leaving. Okay, so its basic purpose is to remove the materials unwanted component of the ore which is not required. It may be the gases, it may be slug, it may be any other type of the metal. So after having this smelting process, you will going to have the metal. Okay, you will left behind with the metal only. So the reducing agent which preferably used for this process includes the carbon, which is coming from certain source, just like a coke, or it may be the use of charcoal. Okay, so basically we are exploring the carbon source either as a coal or either as a charcoal. So these are the two important sources which we use to explore. So you can see how the things can be here, how we can explore these things. You can have the carbon, It reacts with the oxygen to form the carbon monoxide, and this is the hematite, the ore of iron. It reacts with the carbon monoxide, and there is evolution of carbon dioxide by reduction of this carbon monoxide by this species, and you are getting the iron. Okay, similarly you can have the decomposition of the carbonate ores. Okay, you can have decomposition like this calcium carbonate decomposed to form calcium oxide and the carbon dioxide, and this calcium oxide later on react with the silicon dioxide to form impurities. So this is impurity, so we are just excluding this impurity by having a proper reagent. So this is how you can have the basic idea of the pyrohydro pyrometallurgical aspect. Okay. Similarly, we can have the another aspect that is a very important hydrometallurgical. Okay. So this is a method for obtaining metal from the ores. Okay, just like the previous method, it is a technique which use or explore an aqueous chemistry of the okay aqueous chemistry of the metals for recovering the metal from the ore. So here what we are doing, we are just exploring the aqueous chemistry. So that is why the name come hydro come from this aspect, because we are exploring the aqueous medium while knowing the chemistry of the respective metal and how we can obtain this metal from the ore. Okay, so this is the way how the hydrometallurgical aspect can be explored. Okay, so this metallurgical process divided into three categories. We have generally three areas of this category. Leaching is one, solution concentration and purification is another one, metal or metal compound recovery is the another one. Okay, so you have to have the presence of these methods when we look into the hydrometallurgical aspect. So before I move to the next slide, I would like to launch some poll. So you can have number of the situation. You can have, just wait. So I'm going to close the pool. Basically, when we look into the metal exists in wide range of combined form. Okay, it vary from oxide, sulfides, or maybe carbonate. Okay, so we have to have certain methodology which can be explored for the purpose of extraction of these metals. Okay, so these metals extraction is possible by certain processes, okay, where we have to convert these combined state into much simpler form, and ultimately we are going to obtain that metal from those simpler forms, combined forms. Okay, so here we have the sulfide, which is used to be applied by having roasting. You will going to heat the ore just below your melting point in the presence of oxygen, okay, excess amount of oxygen. So the second option is the correct option for the given pool question. Calcination is basically applied for the carbonate ores. So we are just looking into these three steps. So leaching is involve the use of the aqueous solution to extract the metal from metal bearing material, which is brought into contact with the material containing a valuable metals. Okay, so you have a specific reagent which will going to perform this work. So the basic purpose of the leaching, you can vary the aqueous conditioning. How you can vary? You can vary the aqueous conditioning by changing pH, by oxidative reduction potential, or presence of certain chelating agent, and the temperature. Okay, so these are important parameter which should be taken into account when we look into the leaching aspect. Next component of the hydrometallurgical aspect is solution concentration and purification. Okay, after leaching, the liquor must normally undergo concentration. Means you have to concentrate the liquor which is coming after the extraction process of the metal ion that are to be recovered. Additionally, undesirable metals sometimes require removal. Okay, so this all will be going to occur when we apply the solution concentrations and the purification process. It involves the two major aspect, the solvent extraction and the ion exchange. Okay, so these two important process will be there. So this is a block diagram which reflect this whole process, how leaching, extraction, stripping and electroweaving is taking place for the purpose of extraction. Okay, so this is the block diagram which reflect that after finishing one step you have to move, one should move to the another, and it may have a such sequences again and again which will going to applied so as to obtain the metal. So metal recovery, sometime you have seen that we have to have the recovery by exploring certain processes. It includes the electrolysis, gaseous reduction and precipitations. Okay, so these are the basic three methods you can have in metal recovery process. So you can have such type of recovery. You can see when you have copper, okay, as a targeting species which you want to extract. Means if you want to carry out the extraction of the copper through this hydrometallurgical aspect, so you will have certain metallurgical recovery processes which will extract only this metal and leave behind other metal just like your iron and zinc. So the third type of the metallurgy involves the electrometallurgical aspect. So it may be the electro-weighing and electro-refining, electroplating, electroforming, electropolishing. So these are some of the different classes of the electrometallurgical processes. So dear students, the rest of the things we are going to discuss in the next coming lecture, in the next coming lecture, whenever it will be. So we will going to take up the same issue, same topics. So thank you to all of you. Now you can just leave this session. Thank you.